Yeah, I think we'll be all right from there. Yeah, that's good.
How about now? Okay.
All right, here we go. All right, we're going to be closing into our final segment of the 2 to 3 a.m. slot of 2016 Radiothon. It's been a long night. We still got a couple hours to go here. We are closing out Piero's Power Play. The topic of discussion right now is if you had to take one of the current Mets starters to have for the next 7 years, which one would you pick? We're choosing obviously between Jacob deGrom, Matt Harvey, Noah Syndergaard, and Steven Matz. If you are a Zach Wheeler guy and you prefer to take him, so be it. And if for some reason you want Bartolo Colon for the banter, then good for you. But, I mean, we're being realistic here. We're choosing out of the current 4, and everything factors in here. 7 years. In 7 years, DeGrom and Harvey will obviously be much older than what Matz and Syndergaard would be. Injury history is also a big part of this. It's something that you have to factor into it. And just, also, how much can you trust this guy? What type of, what do you think he'll develop into? How long can he keep his current level up? So there's actually a lot of factors when you look into these current 4 pitchers, which one to take.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone wants to start it off. Maybe Pirate. Maybe you want to have an idea which one that you would like to go with and why?
I like Syndergaard. Syndergaard comes with the heat. He's got some. I don't know. The fans like him a lot. I like his pitching a lot. He's got a good fastball. I think he throws a really good slider too. Might be his secondary pitch. He used to not throw it as often as he does now, and it seems to work for him. And I don't know. He's just my favorite. I like seeing him come out, and I think he had a fantastic campaign last year, and I think he'll be even better this year.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing with Syndergaard is they said that he was throwing like a 96 to 97 mile per hour slider against the Royals, and they were just straight up like, that's not hittable.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if he's going to be throwing stuff like that in year 2, then, I mean, definitely sky is the limit for him. So, and I mean, that makes a ton of sense. And he's also got like this attitude that he's now, and this character he's developed for himself with that comment saying I'm 60 feet and 6 inches or something along those lines away, letting the Royals players like come see me if you'd like. That's got the entire the entire fan base loving Noah Syndergaard.
Yeah.
So definitely a sensible pick in going with Thor. Matt, a personal favorite.
I'm gonna stick with Syndergaard just for all the reasons you just stated. Actually, I think he is the most dominating presence on that team.
Yeah.
The whole Thor thing. I don't know. I like it. I like it better than the Dark Knight thing. I think Harvey's time has come, and he's still maybe the best right now. But yeah, I agree with saying also that DeGrom is already into and coming out of his first year of his prime. So I think being 23, Syndergaard because I think his game is the most polished.
Yeah.
He's already there. Now he's entering at 24. Or 23 now, 24 next year.
Yeah. What do you think, Amp?
I think to me it's easily DeGrom. He's easily the best stuff on that team. He throws just as hard as Syndergaard too. He throws in the high 90s, and he is definitely the best pitcher on that staff, like I said. And I think he's the most physical presence on that team as a pitcher, because you could trust him the most.
I think that's definitely fair. I think that's part of it too, is being able to know that at least 4 out of those next 7 years, Jacob deGrom is going to be a high-level pitcher.
Yeah.
I think that's the confidence that he's given people. And, again, as good as Syndergaard has been, and listen, I mean, he could be, through a 7-year period, there's a point where, Noah Syndergaard has the potential to maybe even be the best pitcher in the league, if he's going to pitch how he did against the Royals in that second game of the year. But, there's also just a level of uncertainty with a younger guy. I'm personally a big Steven Matz fan. He came up last year and was unhittable.
Yeah.
He's so talented. I think that he's a lefty too, which obviously they joke about it, but they're like, if you're 6 feet tall and if you're a lefty, just go to the mound because that's where you're going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's his height actually, but he's to me a stud. The reason why I can't pick him is because I feel like he's already at his young age had more injury problems. Last year he even went down, and that kind of scares me. And ironically enough, though, the person I'm picking is Matt Harvey, who's had the Tommy John surgery, but he's kind of, this is going to sound a little weird, but he's already got it out of the way. It just almost feels like Tommy John surgery, and it sucks to say this, but it's almost like it's a bit of a formality with pitchers nowadays. I'm kind of staying away from matches because I feel like he's got a little rough injury history. To be completely honest, I'm just not the hugest Syndergaard fan at the moment. I definitely do think that Syndergaard has the potential to reach top 5 status. I mean, we saw it within, this year's first start of the season. He really came, to the front of it and all and stepped up big time in the World Series. We saw that about him. But to me, I like the Harvey's attitude. To me, it is extremely real. And I'm not saying that Syndergaard's fake and when he says, meet me 60 feet and 600, but I mean, you see Harvey get into battles with Terry Collins already about like taking him out and things like that.
Yeah.
It's the guy he is. He wants the ball, and it's not in this like cocky show up way.
Right.
It's just
It's,
he's
I'm,
so
I'm the guy giving the ball.
He's just
Right.
he's so confident in himself, and I truthfully believe that he's still getting better, even though he's
Yeah.
currently at the age of 27, turned 27 this year. I just think that he's still getting better personally. I think that this year he's got a good chance at Cy Young. I mean, again, the first start is the first start. It wasn't that encouraging, but I still think that he's actually got a good chance at Cy Young this year. He's not my personal pick to win it, but I think he's got a chance. I've spoken to a couple people who definitely feel like he might have this stuff this year.
Yeah.
And I also think it's going to be interesting to see what happens when Harvey is moved to another team. I'm not guaranteeing it. But I think that of these 4 guys, he looks like he's going to be the one that leaves because they're not going to be able to pay all of them. And he's the guy who seems most likely to say, oh, I don't care about staying here. I just want the big check.
Yeah.
Because to him, the big check, again, is not about being rich. It's about the big check saying, oh, you believe that I'm the best. Me too. Let's go make this work. And I'm curious how to see how Harvey then steps into the light of being the new guy, but also still wanting to be the guy. And I think that he's the one who can do that flawlessly. So for me, ironically enough, you said you're Thor over Dark Knight. I'm Dark Knight over Thor. And this is the reason why people are so big on the Mets this year, is you can truly make a case for any 4 of these guys. You can see, and that is extremely impressive.
Yeah.
You go down any other rotation in baseball, you can't do that. You just can't. For example, we know the Yankees lineup obviously being in here. The Yankees rotation very well. A lot of people would go Severino. Some may say give me Tanaka. Outside of that, there's no other debates. No one wants Pineda. You don't want Evaldi. You certainly don't want CC. It's what I'm saying. So for them to have 4 guys, and truthfully, I definitely don't see it in Zach Wheeler coming up and being of the elite level.
Yeah.
But people think that he can come up and be really, really talented as well.
Yeah.
So if they get a 5th guy of maybe not Harvey DeGrom caliber, but their 5th starter could be better than every single other team's 3rd starter. That's possible for this team. It's just how they're currently have their roster constructed, and that's wonderful. That's wonderful for them. But for me, it's Matt Harvey. But I would never say that anyone was wrong for picking any one of the 4, and that to me is the most impressive thing.
There's a reason we're having that conversation in the first place. Like, yeah, you can't just look at another team and say they're doing the same thing what the Mets have done. They've learned how to master that farm system incredibly, and it's going to keep working for them. So I don't think they're done bringing up these young guys. There's a lot of young talent that's coming into Major League Baseball throughout all of these teams, and I think that the Mets are a perfect example of using them wisely and bringing them up to use them for their own benefit instead of just trading everyone away.
Yeah, I mean, I ran a poll. I was doing like this kind of series thing. I was running a poll every day before opening day, like just starting like the week from. And, I said, who do you think's going to win NL Cy Young? And you could only put 4 categories on the poll. So I went Kershaw, Greinke, Arrieta, the 3 front runners, the guys who were the 3 best pitchers last year. And then the 4th one was one of the Mets pitchers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, that's a legitimate thing. You hear Ann says that DeGrom's the best one. Most people agree to that statement. I've heard, like I said, I've heard people say that Harvey's winning it this year. I heard people say that Noah was winning it this year, and that was before even the Royal start. So that's 3 of their 5 pitchers that people truly believe are going to win Cy Young already. I mean, it's outrageous. It's really, it's really something. And that's almost, why I hope for this team that their bats can give them the run support that these guys deserve. Because crazy enough, Bartolo Colon went out there and threw a gem at the age of 40-something. He was out there making plays. He's extremely excited, and he still can't even get the run support. They get shut out by the Phillies. So, this team can only go as far as their hitting allows them to, but if their hitting can even give them 3 runs a night, it's a 90-win baseball team.
We'll see what happens with the New York Mets tomorrow. Harvey's on the mound. He's set on to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. They've got Hellickson on the mound for them.
Jeremy Hellickson.
Yeah, they've
Forgot
got him.
forgot about good old Jeremy.
That's a 1:00 start down in Citi Field, I think. And it's 2:59. And Martino's
AM.
here, and he's ready for his show. So let's
Oh,
wrap things up.
Martino.
Martino. Welcome to the show. Let's close off the session here. Thank you guys for coming on to the Power Play.
Thanks for having
Pyro's
us.
Power Play after PM.
We're here Wednesdays. Check out our Twitter at Pyro Power Play. Guys, do you have Twitter accounts for your shows?
I got my new professional Twitter at the Kevin Walsh. Check that out. Yeah.
The Kevin Walsh.
All right, we're signing off. Thank you guys.